Hey y'all, welcome back. So yesterday we started this series off with a really nice $900 plus day, and today I gave back a little over 700 of it. And honestly, I mean, looking back at these trades, the problem was pretty obvious, as you can see with all the choppery. I was trying to trade through chop instead of just accepting that the market wasn't trying to give me anything clean. There was no follow through after opening bell. It was just a lot of back and forth nastiness. I was basically getting chopped up in the blender. So I was originally looking for sells, and my first trade, I believe this was like before I noticed that my OBS wasn't recording. So I was already down like 300 instantly. The candle moved 50 points to my stop loss. All right, so I'm on the 30-minute time frame now because this is where I marked up my areas of interest, right? I had this 30-minute imbalance here, and I had this 30-minute imbalance here. And I was just looking for a sell side to be taken. We had this low over here, and I also wanted to see this 4-hour imbalance get filled today as well. That was just basically the reason why. So we had sell side below. We had these 30-minute imbalances that were getting rejected. We also had this 15-minute imbalance that became inversion. So it was a bullish imbalance, flipped to bearish, came back, retested it, and it kind of like consolidated within the bounds of this box. It didn't break out of it, except for a few wicks that just pushed out a little bit, but we never got any closures above. So that just let me know, like, you know, it's ready to push down. We got another retest at 7, and it rejected off of here, and then it started a nice little push, another leg down. It broke this low and it made a new leg down. Now we came and we pulled back. This was 9:30. So we came up, we pushed up to here. My mistake. Now, my first trade, let me go back a little bit. My first trade was off of, I believe it was like this candle. It started to push down this way. Actually, no. I think it was this candle. I don't remember exactly when. I didn't mark it up on my chart either because I thought I was recording. Sorry, guys. But I did get in a sell first. And yeah, it was this candle because I had my stop loss up here above this high. And I got in a sell as it started to push below this candle's body because we have this midpoint here. And that's a good pivot point for it to push lower. But it came, tapped my stop loss like immediately. It started to push down, as you can see these wicks, these lower wicks down here. But it came down, didn't give me much follow through, reverse slapped me out, and then it started to play around up here. My second trade, now mind you, my bias is sell. I had no business getting in a buy because this was my area of interest for a sell also, because this was kind of like close to the price action and it pushed up and it did all of that. And I'm like, okay, if it can reject off of this one and not have any body closures, then we should be able to sell off. I decided, because I saw there were sellers sitting up here on Bookmap, that maybe price is looking to take this liquidity, right? We have all these equal highs from pre-market, and I thought that price was going to come and tap into this. And I think we had a 5-minute, yeah, it was a 5-minute imbalance up here as well, bearish imbalance. So I thought that we were going to come and take out these highs. So basically, after that first loss, I didn't want to be wrong again. That was my problem here. Immediately identified it, and as you can see, it just came up. So I got in a buy up here when price was pushing and like kind of trying to go up, but then it reversed. It came down. I should have been selling up here because this was like a nice move down. This was probably about, let me see, hold on. Even if I would have got in down here. Hold on, what's wrong with this thing? That would have been almost 150 points, 134 points. That would have been a nice drop from that area down to these lows. I had this 1 minute order block marked up as well. And I was just looking for basically an entry. Like, it kept breaking below, and then I was looking for an entry once it broke this after, but I was still sticking to my sell bias after that stupid buy that I should have never gotten into. And yeah, I just basically ended up doing too much where I hit my personal max loss for the day. I know these are daily loss limit accounts with 1K, but that's another thing that I decided to change, and I made my max loss 750 because I feel like that's easier to recover from, like based off of my general stats. So I just made it closer to my average with the micros. Yeah, once again, I can explain my trades, my mindset on behind why I took it, and you know, that wasn't really the issue 100% today. It was mainly just like trying to get my setup to play out in conditions where it's clearly showing me that there is no follow through. And that's where overtrading can get sneaky, because every single trade can have a reason behind it. Like, you have to press that button and you find your reason why just off the fly. Not it don't even have to be logical. You know, you can find a fair value gap, you can find liquidity, you can find an order block. But if the overall price action is chop, we in the blender, and there's nothing we can do about it. I'm gonna show you guys my trades so you can see how everything played out. All right, so as you can see, I'm already down like $300 from the first trade I took. Like I said, it was a sell off of the midpoint of that first 30-minute fair value gap. Then I got in this buy, thinking that price was going to take buy side liquidity, when I should have been focusing on the original bias. And you know, I was trying to avoid being wrong again. So I lowered my size by a lot, and as you can see, it did push up a little bit. Then I added to my position as it was pushing up more, which it really didn't follow through once again. But like I said, I should have never, that was definitely, I should have never gotten that. All right, and now once again, it broke through the midpoint of this 30-minute fair value gap. Now it's retesting it. We got a little bit of follow through, and it's playing around again down here. All right, and I wanted to at least see it push strong. Like, I wanted to see it get momentum back in it so we can break through these lows here, but it didn't break through. I started dragging my stop loss in profit because I didn't want to lose any more than I should have, like making it hit my stop loss. So, because as you can see, it's leaving these big wicks to the downside below. All right, and that's what I was looking for, that type of momentum pushing out of this fair value gap. I don't want to see it push down and then draw back up. So this was the 1 minute order block that I had marked up, and I was watching. Okay, and it broke through. Here I go again. That retest, man, that retest would have saved me. If I would have waited for the retest here, that would have saved me, because it wasn't ready to drop still. Look at that. It's making beautiful moves. Like, you would think it would follow through, but boom, stop loss hit once again. All right, we're back at this 30-minute fair value gap, ping pong in between two zones. And you know, when the price action is running back and forth through these PD arrays, off rip, that should let you know it's not ideal market conditions. Just to wrap it up. All right, so once again, we got this push below rejection. I'm in, and I got stopped out for the day. So that was the end of my trades, unfortunately. So yeah, I ended the day down a little over 700. And obviously I don't like that. Nobody likes to lose, especially not losing money in the market, but it's all a part of this probability game that we play. And I'm not going to turn it into something bigger than it needs to be. I had a bad trading day. That's all. And I feel like a lot of people actually did. Like we were all out here getting ground up into mincemeat this morning. It is what it is. Not every day needs to produce a trade. If you can identify the market conditions before you enter and what they possibly could look like, if it's not going to be a follow through day, then you could sit on the sidelines. And definitely don't overtrade in these conditions. Forget the setup. Like if it's doing all of that and going in and out of these ranges, forget it. Tomorrow's a new day. But this is exactly why I wanted to document this journey, because you saw yesterday what 3 to 5 micros can do. I almost made 1K on this account, well, on these accounts. And today you see the result of the same small size, but I overtraded. Unfortunately, I should have walked away after that third trade, but I took 2 more. Smaller size, it doesn't fix bad discipline. That's something that I need to still work on. On days like this, just knowing to walk away and lock him up. So we're taking a loss, we're taking a lesson, and we're leaving it here. Yesterday's trade is not today's trade. That's what I say every day. Live to trade another day, and yesterday's trade is not today's trade. So tomorrow has absolutely nothing to do with today. New session, new setups, hopefully something that follows through. Same 3 to 5 micros though, regardless. So if you want to keep following the journey, the green days, the red days, payouts, mistakes, all of it, like this video and subscribe. Trade discipline, and I'll see you at the next setup.